businesses are also in network marketing, and there's about $30 billion a year of goods and services that move through network marketing. And so when I asked the question, I just wanted to see whether or not you have this big, huge network marketing is the devil, and no, it doesn't work, it'll never work, and, I don't care if it, in other words, I wanted to see, one is, can you look at it logically? That's really, does it work as an industry?
Well, I guess now, see, you brought up a good point. I didn't have anyone telling me how to do it. I mean, I just had someone sign me up, and that was it. So that wasn't in my network marketing. I thought that's just what you do. You sign them up, and then that's it.
And so you just threw a pack of vitamins in your backpack, and you went out, and you were like, well, it's got to work. And
right. Maybe some paperwork involved, and you get papers or brochures, and that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you say that in looking back, all right, so number one, we can now just see that the whole industry, as an industry, it works. I'm about to ask the second question in handling the MLM objection. What does it take, do you think, for it to work for an individual?
Certain character.
A character?
Yeah, and then...
From Ireland or not from Ireland?
Well, I guess that's not fair, huh? Well, maybe it is the learning curve or the, yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are good at sales. Like my husband reads every sales book that comes out, or, I can name you authors, and even though I haven't, read them, just because he has so many books. So there must be something to it.
Yeah. So let me see about this, the whole marketing and sales and things like that. What do you view that it takes to actually influence another person?
Passion with what, conviction of what you believe to be true. Getting through barriers of any false ideas they may have, and then giving them the true idea of what something is, or having them try it, because what's true for you might be not true for them, and things like that.
And you don't think you're good in sales? After what you just said. In other words, either you're listening to what your husband says off of these books or something, or you just intuitively kind of capture that. And see, and what I think is different is that I said, what do you think it takes to communicate to somebody? And see, and as soon as I took the word sales out of that and put it to a word of communicate, you said, oh, well, it takes this and this and this and this. See, what I said was, what does it take to influence someone?
Right. Well, yep. I thought that, yeah, okay.
That's what I wanted you to see, is that if you kind of look at sales as being, all right, so I am going to convince this person to buy these vitamins, right? Mm-hmm. If you view it that way, that person doesn't want the vitamins, and so you then say, well, I failed at it. Then that can obviously leave an extremely bad taste in your mouth.
Totally.
But it really is just nothing more than communication. Whether you are talking to your husband about that you want to go to see a movie tonight and he would rather go do something else tonight with you, it's just conversation, it's just communication, right? Mm-hmm. But what if you call somebody as a bookkeeper, you were to say, do you do your own bookkeeping? At this point, do you think you're selling something?
Do you do your own bookkeeping? Yeah, I would, because obviously you're leading up to something.
All right. You could also say you're just communicating and you're just wanting to find out whether or not this person needs a bookkeeper.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it can be selling or it can be just communicating, because there's no other way for you to actually ask this person if you can be their bookkeeper. You're going to have to either communicate or sell. It doesn't, however you say it, it's still the same actions.
I guess so.
Yeah. If you called me and said, hey, Tim, Sue gave me your number, and she says that you might need a bookkeeper. I wanted to find out, do you do your own books, or do you have a bookkeeper? Okay? Mm-hmm. You're selling or you're communicating. It's the same thing, right?
Right.
All right. So why is it that some people are good at this and some people are not?
Because they know what to say next and to keep the person interested and not getting that pre-concluded idea without being able to get the argument out of your mouth or something like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they cut you off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I have experienced is that I have been successful at it, and I pride myself that the reason that I have been successful at it is because I really care about the person that I'm actually talking to, whether it's that I'm selling a product or whether I am talking to somebody about the business. I really genuinely care about that person. And so the first thing that I do is just like what you would do when you're looking for a bookkeeper, is you would say, are you in the market for a bookkeeper? Just like I said to you, would you have any reason to look at a business? So that's the first thing I want to find out, right? And if the person doesn't have an interest, then I'm not going to continue on talking. Right? I'm not going to try to force them.
Right.
If I am selling a vitamin, then I would say something like, do you take vitamins? And they say, no. And I say, what's the number one reason that you don't take vitamins? And they say, well, because I don't believe that they work. All right, well, I've got a choice right there as to whether or not I want to help that person understand that vitamins do help and they do work, or I just move on. Right? I haven't said I have a product. I've only asked them, do you take a vitamin? And the other thing that I think has been the reason that I am successful is because I take the time to actually, kind of communicate these ideas to people. And so when I do bring somebody into my network marketing business, I train them the same way. Do you feel as though that if you had the training?
This is a key question right here.
In other words, these ideas that I've just given you, if you had gotten these earlier in your MLM experience, do you think you would have had a better shot at success?
Well, definitely. Here you got me on the phone for, 25 minutes. And,
I'm sorry?
Not exactly not busy, but you know what I mean?
You want to send me a bill? You probably should.
Usually the fact is you're Sue's friend and everything, and that's good. So I wouldn't hang up on you. Not that I'd be rude to anybody, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you're good at communication. But yeah, I guess if I had your skills, definitely I think I'd do better at it, definitely.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a test question if you don't mind.
Okay.
Do you think I was born with these skills?
Well, it sounds like it.
It sounds like it. Okay, so that means that if you had been the nurse when I came out of my mom, and you were the one that smacked me on my bottom, and I screamed bloody murder, would you have said at that time, he's a born communicator?
Not necessarily, because that's probably what everybody does.
That's right. That's right. At what point do they become born speakers, or born communicators, or born salespeople?
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Would you be at all open to looking at something that I could send you that has absolutely nothing to do with my company? It only has to do with the industry itself. It was written by someone successful in the industry, as well as a gentleman from Harvard who actually teaches network marketing in a major university. So there's no hype in this. There's not promotion of any company. It just explains the industry. Would you be open to receiving that from me?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds fine. There's probably more I could know.
Now that invite was out of sequence, and if I had this call to do over again, I wouldn't have done that. The error I committed is that I didn't do the fifth and final step of the questions and objections remedy, which was to complete the handling and return to the previous step of the inviting formula. See, I was in the qualifying step when the objection came up, and I got distracted by the fact that she was really following me, and so I went straight for the invite. The fact that she accepted my invite doesn't matter, because here I sit and I don't know why she would look at a business. The qualifying step hasn't been completed.
I appreciate that, and what I'd like to do is to have you look at it, and now that we've kind of cleaned out the past a little bit, because if you just, Catherine, if you just think about it, if you ate a bad meal at a restaurant, it doesn't mean that you're never going to eat again.
Right.
Right? Just because you had a bad experience, or in your case too, in network marketing, doesn't mean that the whole multi-level marketing, it doesn't mean that the whole industry doesn't work.
Well, this is true.
What is it that you would actually like to achieve? If just forget for a little bit that, what you do and things like that. If you just were able to create whatever amount of